Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to do is complete an exercise here based on a spoon, little medicine spoon here, and this is more of an advanced I suppose exercise here where we're going to be doing a little bit of surface modelling, okay? Not as common to secondary school students as features, but surface is really handy, and you can see we can get obviously the irregular shape of the spoon head here. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video there, okay? So close that guide down and we're going to start up. So in Solidworks, File, New, click Part and click OK. So at this point I'm assuming a lot of students here would know obviously the steps involved in obviously how to get in and out of a sketch, being able to use the control key, escape key and so on. So what we're going to do to make the spoon head shape is we're going to start a sketch on the top plane. So if you select the top plane here and select the sketch icon, we're going to start with a line tool. So go up to your sketch tab and select the line tool, but it's very important, center line. And where I want to start the sketch is in line with the origin then. So in line with the origin, but not on the origin. You can see here where I've kind of gone off to the left. Click once and I want you to drag through the origin and then extend the line out to the right. And deactivate your tool by pressing the escape key. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our sketch tab and we're going to start off with a circle. So normal circle. And you're going to start your circle on the origin. So select the center point of the origin or the point of the origin and draw a circle out as far as the end on the left hand side. Okay, and then you're going to do the same roughly about here, come to close to the end of the line actually, and draw another circle on the line and end it here at the end of the line again. Now we'll apply dimensions then. Press the escape key to deactivate it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go sketch and smart dimension. The first thing I'm going to dimension is the circle, and that is going to be diameter 30. And then I'm going to dimension this circle and it's going to be diameter 12. Okay, depending on what one you get. Now I need to dimension between the center points. So from the origin to the center point of the small circle, I'm going to make that a distance of 27. Okay, so now that I've that done, you can see it's fully defined. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up to my sketch tab and I'm going to select this little tool here, the 3-point arc, but make sure you get the 3-point arc, not the center point arc tangent, 3-point arc. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to start up here, roughly up here on the left hand side of the big circle, and we're going to click and then you're going to drag over until you get over to the right hand side of the small circle, outside here, click, and then the last time you click you can change the direction of the arc. Now we want our arc to be kind of going upwards like that, not downwards, not in a straight line, so kind of something like that, and click. And to deactivate your tool, press escape. Now what I want that arc to do, I want this arc to touch this circle. So how do I do that? Using the control key on the bottom left of your keyboard, hold that down, click on the arc, then hold the control key down, then click on the circle, and then you should get a relations tool over here and I want them to be tangential. Click tangent. Okay, done with that, click the green arrow. I'm going to do the same thing with this part and this circle. Click the arc, hold down control, click the small circle, tangent. Okay. Green arrow, done. Now what I want to do is I want this to be just touching this circle and this point of the arc, you can see there, I want it to be just touching, and you can see you can click and pull it and stuff like that, but I want it to end right on the circle. So if you click the point at the end of the arc and hold control and click the circle again, click coincident and it'll go exactly to where it's meant to finish. Same with this guy, click, hold control, click, coincident. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to dimension that arc, sketch, smart dimension, click the arc, and I'm going to make it a radius of 60. There we go. Press escape to deactivate your tool. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go sketch and I'm going to go to my trim entities tool. So with my trim entities tool, power trim, I'm going to slice off the bottom half. So click and slice through, click and slice through, and I want to slice this bit in here and in here. And all I want left is that shape there. Okay. Now trim is done. I'm going to go to my sketch tab and I'm going to use my mirror tool. So select mirror entities, select the arc, and the arc. Come over here to mirror about and then select the center line and click the green arrow. Okay, that's the shape that we want. Quite a complex little shape there, a little egg shape. Okay, what we're going to do now, see I have a little blue dot there, that's annoying me actually, and a little blue dot here. I'm going to click on the blue dot, hold control, click on the arc, and I'm going to make coincident. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that fixes it. Do the same. Click the blue dot, click the arc, coincident. Seems to fix it. Now it was fully defined anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to exit our sketch there now. So exit that sketch, click on the blue icon. So you can see the sketch is grey and it's on the top plane. You can see that's where the sketch is. What I want to do is I want to give that a name. So I'm going to click on this and press F2, and I'm going to call that my top profile. Okay, now that I've got my top profile done, what I want to do now is I want to make the under shape of the spoon going down here like this, the underside of the spoon. So how do I do that? I need the plane that is going through it on this line here, which is actually the front plane there. You'll see the front plane is going right through the middle of it. So I'm going to have to sketch on the front plane now. So front plane, sketch. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rotate my object a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I want this line again. So I could either just draw the line by getting another center line and drawing it from there to there, but I'm just going to use convert entities. So click on convert entities, and the thing I want to copy is this guy here. So click on this little guy here, the line, and then click the green arrow. And you'll see a line will come in, it'll be the exact same length. So convert entity is a really handy tool. But I don't want that line to be a finish line, okay? I want it to be a construction line. So if I select the line and come over here and click for construction and click the green arrow, that will change to your little construction line. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to press my space bar, and I want to be looking in at the front of it again. Click this space here. Now what I want to do with that is I want to draw another circle. So I'm going to go up to my sketch tab, I'm going to get my circle tool, I'm going to start not on the end but roughly about here, not on the origin either, in between, not really there either, about here. I'm going to click and I'm going to draw a circle. I want it to finish right here. Click. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sketch and smart dimension. I'm going to dimension that, and I'm going to make it diameter 18. Okay, now I'm going to go to my sketch tab, and I'm going to get my 3-point arc again, and I'm going to start on the left hand side of the circle down here, click, then I want to finish right here at the end point. Very important you get the end point, click, and I want the arc to go downwards, not upwards. I want it to go kind of down like that, and click, and deactivate your tool by pressing escape. Now I want it to be touching the circle, so I have to make it a tangent, hold control, click the arc, click the circle, tangent, green arrow. I want it to end at the circle, click the end point of the arc, hold control, click the circle, coincident. And now what I want to do is I want it to be smart dimension, sketch, smart dimension, click the arc, and I'm going to make that 96. Okay, and press escape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away some of this stuff. So sketch, trim entities, I'm going to trim away the top and trim away inside here. And that's the profile that I wanted to have. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit my sketch by clicking on the blue icon. It's fully defined, and what I'm going to call that then is the bottom profile. So top profile, bottom profile, or lower profile, whatever you want to call it. It makes no real difference, to be honest, or front profile. So I'm going to click on this, press F2, I'm going to call that bottom profile. Okay, so now that we've got our two kind of shapes done, we're going to combine those to kind of make a surface. Okay, and this is the little tricky part. So in Surfaces tab, now if your Surfaces tab is not there, all you do is you right click on any of these guys, and you'll see you've got a little tabs toolbar, and you can activate your surfaces here. So highlight, so all you do is right click on any of these tabs, click and activate your surfaces. In Surfaces, what we're going to do here is using known as what's called the fill surface. So if you select fill surface there, our patch boundary, if we go in here, you can select the top profile, but there's two ways. I could either select it from here by just clicking on the sketch, or I can go over here to where my part is, click the arrow, and I'm going to select top profile. And you'll see here, that is after coming in. And you can see we've got a lovely little surface there. It's kind of coming in with a little yellow colour. Now, very important here, make sure that show preview is selected and optimize surface. Now our constraint curve is going to select this box down here, and in that one is going to be our bottom profile. And you'll see there, that's where it's going to take the shape up there. Okay, now you could include a couple more if you wanted, and by putting in extra planes, but that's the basic shape of our spoon, so I'm actually quite happy with that. Okay, when I've that done, just click on the green arrow to accept. And what we've created here, now apologies, my settings are on viewing there. What we've created here is a little spoon shape, okay, but what we've actually got here is what's known as a surface body. Okay, it's a surface, it's got no thickness or anything like that. If I put a little section view through it there, click the green arrow for a second, you'll see here it's just a little kind of, it's like a sheet of paper basically. It's got no thickness to it. So now what we need to do is we need to make that kind of like a solid spoon. So we actually have to apply a thickness to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename that. I'm going to click this, press F2, come to the front of it, and I'm going to call it spoon. Just call it spoon surface. That'll do fine. Okay, now we're going to thicken it, and we're going to make it kind of like a solid surface. So in your surfaces toolbar, if you come over here after selecting surface, you'll see an icon that says thicken. If you click on that, now you have different thicken parameters here. The dimension I'm going to thicken it here, just to show you. Now I only want it to be 0.5, but for demonstration purposes I'm going to make it 1, or I'm actually going to say 2 mil, just for demonstration so you can see it a bit. Now I'm not going to accept it. Now when I change that to 2 mil, there's different thicken parameters. You'll see here thicken side 1, thicken both sides I think, and then thicken side 2. This is the one that I want, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this one here, and watch here what's going to happen. When I select the object, you'll see here what's happened is it has thickened it outwards. Now I didn't want it to go outwards, and if I change the dimension here, if I change it to 1, notice how it's gone in. Now I don't want it to go outwards, I want it to go inwards, so the dimension, I want to actually select this one, and watch what happens when I select it from this one. It'll only go inwards, and that's the one that I actually want. Now if you select this one, I'll go back to 2 mil. You can see there it'll change the shape of it. If I go back to 2 mil, but if I want this one, what that means is it'll go both in and out, and it'll do 2 mil both ways. If I change it here, it'll go 1 mil both ways, and so on. Now that obviously depends on what you're making, but I don't want that. I want 0.5, and I want it to just be thickened inwards, which is thicken side 2, that one there. And I'm going to take the green arrow to accept. And you'll see now that our surface bodies folder is gone, and we now have a solid body. Okay, so that's really handy. Now if we zoom in here though, you'll see that we've got a little lip there, that I don't want that little lip. Okay, I don't really want that little lip. So what I'm going to use is what's known as a cut with surface. So if you look at our little, now I'll actually click on that and press F2, and I'll just say spoon thicken again. It's always good to rename your features and so on. Our little toolbar here, design tree. Now that was our little thicken step. It's got a little thickness to it, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to make and going to get rid of that little lip to make it a little sharp edge there. Okay? So to do that, I'm going to go to my surfaces tab, and I'm going to click on this little icon here called cut with surface. Now what I want you to recognize first though is we've got planes going through the object here. I've got that plane, the front plane, I've got the top plane, and you see that's the one I'm actually going to use, and the right plane. Now the right plane and the front plane aren't really helpful here. The top plane is very helpful. If you see, the top plane is actually, you see there, you see that blue line there. If I select it, I turn it on, I'll click show. Notice how the top plane is actually going through the object, but it's cutting through it at the exact lip point that I want. So that was important when I actually started my modeling. I want everything above the top plane to be gone. Okay, so there's a little bit of material above the top plane, as you can see there. It's all sitting above the surface. I want all that material essentially to be gone. Okay, so how do I do that? Now I'm going to hide my top plane. I was just showing you there where it was. How do I do that? So if I go to surfaces and I click cut with surface, what's the surface I want to use to cut? Click the arrow here, and I'm going to select top plane. Now very important here, notice then once you click cut with surface, notice the arrow on the screen, it's pointing down. That's not the way I want it to point. If I do that and I accept it with the green arrow, it will remove everything below the top plane. I want it to remove everything above, so I have to click on this arrow. So if your arrow is pointing down, click this flip cut, and it will remove everything above. And watch what happens here once I click the green arrow. Boom. And there it is. We've got a nice little flat surface there going around to show our spoon. Okay, so there is the spoon head. I'm just going to click on there. Once again, I'm just going to give it a top surface cut, is all I'm going to call it. Okay, so now that's a little bit on surfaces. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the handle. Now for the handle, I need a plane. Okay, so I'm going to pop in a plane here. I'm going to go features, and I'm going to go reference geometry and select a plane. Now my reference, I'm going to click the arrow here. My reference is going to be what's known as the right plane, so I'm going to select it here, and you'll see where the plane is after going in. Look, it's saying 90 mil. That's the distance I want. It doesn't really matter here. It's up to you really what you do here. I'm going to set it at, it doesn't matter, I'm going to change to 80, and you'll see it'll come closer, but the plane is on the wrong side. I don't want it over here on the right hand side of the spoon. I want it behind the spoon over here. So if you click over here, flip offset, it'll come over to the opposite side. And that's the side I want. Now depending on the size, you can even, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to change it again here. I'm just going to make it 100. Doesn't really matter. Make it nice big spoon. Okay, so 100, and click the green arrow. And now we've got a little plane in here, alright, that we're going to draw on. Now what I'm going to do is doesn't really matter what you call that plane. I'm actually going to click on the surface. I'm going to click hide. The plane is still there, but I'm just going to hide it from view. I don't like when it's showing, but I'm going to select the plane and select sketch. Now I'm looking at the back of the spoon, as you can see. Okay, actually I'll flip that over. So press your space bar and normal too. Now it doesn't really matter what we're doing here, so you can see the plane I'm drawing on. I'm going to go up here to my sketch tab and I'm going to get a corner rectangle. And very important here, I don't want to start on the origin, I want to start on the line here, roughly around there. See the orange line? Click there, drag over, click. And now very important here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sketch, smart dimension. I'm going to make this line here at the bottom 6. I'm going to make the height of it 2. Click the line, make that 2. And the last thing I'm going to do is click the origin, then click this line, and the space between them, I want that to be 3. Okay, and there we go. Press escape to deactivate your tool. Now what you'll see, there's our little sketch. I want that guy there, that rectangle, to come up and join onto the spoon. So how do I do that? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go features, I'm going to go extrude boss base. You can see here I can just join it up like that and kind of get there. Okay, but the problem is I don't want it to kind of go through the object. You'll see the way it's going through a little bit there. I don't want that to happen. What I want to happen is I want it to just join onto the curved face there. So instead of blind, change your condition here to up to surface. If you click up to surface there, or up to body, but I'm going to say up to surface, and then I simply select the surface here. And you'll see here, it'll conform onto the curvature of the body. Okay, and when I've that done, I'm happy with that. Tick the green arrow. I'm happy to merge result here, that's all fine, because it's all just one part. And there's our little spoon handle. Now, for the spoon handle, we want a little rounded edge here, so we're going to do a little fillet. So, actually before I do that, I'll rename this. I'll call it handle, boss extrude. And now what I'm going to do is a little fillet. So go to features, select the fillet icon, and this time in the fillet icon, what we're going to select, the usual one here is what's known as a constant size fillet. That would be absolutely fine if you did maybe, and you set your dimension here to 3. And we would click on this edge here, and this edge here. And it would do a nice little fillet, but there's a handy way of doing that using what's known as a full round fillet. Okay, I would usually use this one now myself personally and go with that one, but I'm going to go with the full round fillet. And what we do is we select, look here in box 1, I want to select, make sure full preview shown, select the side face, click box 2, select the back face, click box 3 and select the other side, and it'll make a full rounded fillet, and click the green arrow. There we go. So that's a little new one. No need to rename the fillet, that's absolutely fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to hollow out the underneath of it. So to do that, we're going to go features and shell. And in the shell command, I'm going to set my dimension here to 0.5. Let's stick with that. Click show preview and select underneath. And make sure you select the face underneath and click the green arrow. And there we go. And it's after shelling out underneath. And that kind of looks like a medicine spoon there. Okay, last little bit, we're going to apply a little bit of text. Okay, so I'm going to call this, I'm going to give it a name, handle shell. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of text on this surface here. So click the surface and click sketch. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sketch tool, get a center line, and I'm going to draw a center line from here to here. I'm trying to make sure that it's, actually I'm going to change that to about there. So something like that. Now I don't want it to be in line with the middle, I kind of want it to be close to the edge. So I'm going to go sketch, smart dimension, always try and define our dimensions. So from here to here, see the line, so select the origin, select the line. See that distance there? I want that gap, the vertical distance between them to be 1.5. And then the distance from, I'm going to dimension from the end point of the line to the origin, I'm going to make that 20. And then I'm going to dimension this line, I'm going to make it 30. Perfect. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to put a bit of text there. So to do text, you go sketch, see the little A icon, click on that. Now the curves, in the curves box, all you do is you select the line that you want it to go on, then write your text. I'm going to say 10 mil. Okay, and you'll see there it's gone into the middle. Now if yours comes on the left, there's little icons here. You can go left of the line, center of the line, right of the line. If you flipped it upside down, but that's not in the correct position, so you can play around with these guys and obviously change them around. Now I want it to be in the middle there, so there we go. Now you can also go, if you change here where you click the arrow, change that and click on font, you can use a different type of text, okay? It doesn't really matter what you use, it doesn't bother me. I'm going to go with Tahoma, click OK, there we go, click the green arrow. Now in this case it will save under defined, don't worry about that, that's because the text dimensions there, we're not going to dimension that. All we're going to do is we're going to go features, extrude boss base, and instead of, see here it's not extruding yet, we want the text to kind of come up off the surface, but instead of up to surface just click blind. Now that's coming up way too high, I want to only go like 0.125 and tick the green arrow, merge result is fine, and there's our little bit of text, really handy. Okay, there's the little spoon. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to change this to text boss extrude, and all I'm going to do now is add an appearance. So I'm going to click on this, click the appearance wheel, I'm going to make the whole part the one, okay, part or body. I'm going to go for a medium gloss and I'm going to go with white and click the green arrow. Okay, and there we go, there is our little spoon. Okay, nice little exercise there, teaching us a basic little bit about how we can use sketch profiles really here. So it was this main part, kind of what that was important, making that part of the body, okay, or of the surface for the shape of the spoon, and excuse me, and then using what was known as a surface fill. Okay, once we did that, we did the thicken, or we thickened it out. We used thicken with our surface cut, and then what we did was we worked on the handle then at the end. Okay, and there's our little basic medicine spoon there. Obviously it depends on the size of the handle on where you put your plane exercise in. Okay, but that's it there, guys. Obviously at this point now all you do is you will file and save that, obviously wherever appropriate. But that's the video done, guys. Hope you found that helpful.